anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall Coast to Coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game Time Decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage Late
Sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, Betting Above the Rim brought to you by BetMGM along with Coach Young. I'm Ferrall in New York. Chet the Jet Walker has passed, Coach. Great player. I remember watching him as a kid play for the Chicago Bulls. I remember Chet Walker. He won a title in 67 with the 76ers, I believe. He was a 7-time All-Star. Bulls Ring of Honor, NBA All-Rookie. The guy was incredible. I remember before he came into the league, he played at Bradley. I think he was their all-time leading scorer. And I think they won, I could be wrong, I think he won a couple of NIT titles when he was at Bradley playing for the Braves. And he passed your boy Chet the Jet Walker gone. He passed this week. I think he passed yesterday. Was that about right?
Yeah, Chet Walker passed away yesterday. Chet the Jet. Yeah, he did win 2 NIT championships with Bradley, I think in 57 and 60. Obviously drafted Syracuse Nationals. Syracuse Nationals then became Philadelphia. So won a title with them. More known for his time with, obviously, the Chicago Bulls from 69 to 75, playing with guys with Jerry Sloan. Was a really good, tough player. Rebound the ball, tough-nosed, it's only 6'7", but could score in a variety of ways as a small forward. You hate to see anybody that we lose, losing Chet Walker, losing Bill Walton, a week or 2 weeks ago. These are iconic basketball players, and hopefully our younger audience, when we bring up names like Chet Walker, when we bring up names like Bill Walton, it'd be good if you go and you research and look up these guys and look at what they've done in their career, because a lot of us, they even get to talk basketball, wouldn't be here because of some of these guys that paved the way for the newer players.
Hall of Famer and just a badass for his size. I remember, like I said, watching him in the Windy City when I was a little kid. So I grew up outside of Chicago as a little kid, and then I moved to Pittsburgh in elementary school and started, watching the Steelers win Super Bowls. So believe it or not, back in the day, like Brent Musburger was calling Bulls games on BBM in Chicago on the radio at the beginning of his career. So I remember all of that. And I remember guys like Artis Gilmore. It goes on and on. Long before Michael Jordan came along in Chicago, that's for sure. All right. We get into this second hour now of Betting Above the Rim as we get ready for Game 2 tonight at the Garden in Boston of the NBA Finals, with Boston leading 1-0, favored by 6.5, minus 275 on the money line, 214.5 up to 216 now. The importance of this game tonight for both sides, Coach. I mean, obviously, it's more important for the Mavericks. If they go down 2, I don't think they're screwed completely if they lose. I do believe Dallas is going to win in Dallas. I do. I do not think this is going to be a bed of roses for the Celtics going to Dallas.
I think this is critical for Dallas, Ferrall, because I think if you go down 0-2, I believe that Boston's going to get a game in Dallas. I really do. I don't think this is going to be a straight zigzag 2-2, 1-1-1. I think they're going to get one in Dallas. So to me, this is critical for Dallas because I don't think they can come back down 3-1 and win 3 in a row and winning 2 out of 3 in Boston. This is a critical game for a Dallas team that honestly, Ferrall, didn't play well offensively or defensively in game number 1, getting outscored by 27 points at the 3-point line. Really quick, you mentioned the A Train. I met the A Train, Artis Gilmore, before. I've met Artis Gilmore. I've run into like Daryl Dawkins when I was a kid. Had a slam dunk contest against Daryl Dawkins as he guest spoke at a basketball camp when I was after my senior year in high school. Luckily, he did not. Talking Thunder. Luckily, he did not break the backboard at Red Bay Catholic High School. But I will say this: I met Artis Gilmore, and I'm going to find this picture and I'm going to send it to Freeze so they can put it up
afro ever,
bro. And Ferrall, he is the biggest dude I've ever seen in my life. I mean, he shook my hand, and his hand, like, my hand was like, I didn't know where it went. So I'm going to find this
ball
picture.
in his hand.
Exactly. I'm going to find this picture of me and the A-Train from when I was at Monmouth, because after he graduated from Jacksonville and he obviously played in the NBA, when he was the color commentator for Jacksonville University. We played at Jacksonville, and that's why I got a chance to meet him. Ferrall, I'm still shaking about it. I never saw a person that physically big in my life.
He was a great player. He had a great game in Skyhook, the whole deal. He was like the poor man's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, right? Like, fair enough?
Yes, the A-Train, I think 7'1", 7'2", lefty, kind of had really aggressive. But those were the days, like, people would talk about back in the day, like guys like him, guys like Alvin Hayes, guys like Nate Thurman, guys like Bob Lanier. Like, people talk about, like, we talk about Willis Reed because we're local. Like, there were some big, badass centers back in the day. And not only were they badass, Ferrall, they could knuckle up. I mean, I saw Bob Lanier almost take someone's head off before. Oh, Lord have mercy, yes.
How many times have you seen, even the Boston Celtics get in fistfights? Larry Bird, fistfights. Kevin McHale, fistfights. The Detroit Pistons, Lane Beer, fistfights. John Sally, fistfights. Remember Kermit Washington? Sucker punch. Now listen, let's talk about this for a second. Honestly, we've been talking about this game. I want to pull my teeth out. I'm sick and tired of talking about it. I really am. Like, are you not fed up with all of these grandiose predictions from Coach and I? Like, we're just talking about the same thing over and over again. I'm just beating my head into a wall. Just not expecting to have blood on my forehead. Like, what do you think's going to happen tonight, Coach? Yes, sir. Well, Coach, what do you think's going to happen tomorrow night? Well, Coach, who do you think's going to have a good game tomorrow? Hey, Coach, who do you think the MVP is going to be? Hey, Coach, what do you like? You like that Pride? Boy, at 7, it was a lot better than 6. Honestly, give me someone put a machete in my head. Here's the deal. Let's just talk about this for a second. I got something better to do than the same ad nauseum game 2 talk. Okay. the game today is no different, in my opinion, than the game was back in the day. Back in the day, it was more violent. There were more fistfights. The refs were meaningless. They didn't listen to refs. I mean, if some guy gave you a cheap shot, you're going to take his head off. And there was no double tech and no listening to coaches, refs, your GM, the owner. These guys, they were animals back in the day. Animals. Now you're going to sit here and tell me, oh, you hear this all the time. Oh, they would have never beaten the Michael Jordan Bulls. They would have never beaten the Pistons. And this team would have never beaten the San Antonio Spurs with Tim Duncan. Oh, blah, blah, blah. You got to admit that the game has always been great, Coach. It's always been kick-ass. Back then, I watched Dr. J. I watched all these guys, Artis Gilmore. I watched I'm 59 years old. I have seen almost literally everything in the league's history, literally almost in the entire history of the league. I was alive when the league was formed. So I think the game's just as good then as it is now. People think it's better now because what? Jamal Murray can hit a jumper? Shut up. I don't want to hear it. Oh, because a guy can dunk. There was no one that dunked more violently than Chocolate Thunder. To this day, no one. Or even Dominique Wilkins. I don't want to hear it. So when we come back, I'm going to get Coach's opinion of then versus now.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Look at the stats. 5 out of the top 6 televised rated games on the WNBA this year all involve Caitlin Clark. The only one that doesn't was a second half of a doubleheader in which Caitlin Clark played the first game.
It's the BetMGM offer of the week. Get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. For all the games in the NBA Finals. Set your picks and shoot your shot. And turn any game into a must-watch. Download the BetMGM app, and it's on.
Above the rim on a Sunday. As I've said 1,000 times, the game's tonight at 8 o'clock, allegedly. They'll tip it at around midnight. Once the 5-hour pregame show starts, oh my God, it's like, what is worse than that? There is nothing worse than, I can't do it, literally. I will literally not turn that on until it's 2-0. Literally, I won't turn on. I can't take it, Coach. The pregame and all these talking heads. I can't take. I don't care what people think of me. Have at it. Hate me all you want. Or Coach, I don't want to hear it. We talk more lit than anyone in the world. But when I watch that, oh God, the pregame show for like the NBA Finals and even just the normal Saturday night primetime NBA game throughout the season when they spend an hour talking before the game starts. It's just the longest yard. I don't know what to say other than that. It's just torture. No one can possibly get that interested in talking about a game that's tipping off an hour and a half from now, and they're still, what are they, buttering the bread? It makes no sense to me. All right, Coach, let's go back to what I asked you about before. When it was back in the day, the NBA or the game at any level, college, pro, I still think the game was awesome. You cannot tell me that the 1976 Indiana Hoosiers that went undefeated wasn't good basketball. And then they say, oh, the game's so much better now. It's so much better today. Why? Because of more expensive tennis shoes? The balls are nicer. Why? The arenas are nicer. It's still the same game, Coach. It's the same game. Right. People say, oh, they jump higher. No, they don't. No, they don't. The game is the game, and that's all there is to it. And the game back then was just as good as it is now, and some people would argue better.
Listen, when you talk about guys that could jump higher, does anybody remember, David Thompson? Watching that guy. You should talk, or how about one of the greatest nicknames of all time, Dr. Duncanstein? Do you remember Darrell Griffin? Dr. Duncanstein. Yeah. That's one of the greatest nicknames of all time. Then you talk about ferocious dunkers like Dominique Wilkins. Like who used to? How about the Rain Man, Sean Kemp? Oh my God, the Lister Blister, Alton Lister is still one of the best dunkers of all time, along with the little facial that he did and pointed at him. Listen, ball is ball, and it's always been fabulous. It has changed, right, a little bit from the motion offense of Bob Knight in the 70s, right, to the Showtime fast break Los Angeles Lakers of the 80s, to the rugged and tough Pistons and Knicks of the early 90s, the elevation of Jordan and the Bulls. Then you get into, the team playing the international ball with the San Antonio Spurs, the Shaq and Kobe, right? You go all the way into the, the Celtics, how they've kind of weaved and changed over the years. Basketball has always been basketball. And I think you need to understand the purity of the game and how the game has evolved over the course of time. It has been, me being 47, it's been a pleasure to watch. Now, I can tell you this right now, there was nothing more better for me than back in the day, before I even went to NBC, Ferrall, when it was the NBA, if I'm not mistaken, it was on CBS.
That's right.
And this is before, folks, this is before ESPN got popular. There wasn't no direct TV or League Pass. It was in the 80s, right? And you waited for that Sunday doubleheader. And you talk about how they used to market Caitlin Clark, like in the WNBA? Almost every Sunday, Ferrall, it would be some combination of
Dr.
the Lakers,
J.
right? The Celtics, and the 76ers. Because they had to put on Magic, they had to put on Larry, they had to put on Dr. J, they had to put on Kareem, and that's how they did it. But to me, you have to start looking at the players, folks, that you need to start learning about if you're too young. Go look up Alex English and watch that guy play. You want to talk about
George
Gervin. You want to talk about great Brooklyn-born players, and you want to talk about Carmelo Anthony? Folks, go watch Bernard King. Bernard King was the baddest of badasses in the 80s. And if he tore his ACL in 2023, 2024, he'd be back in 6 months. This guy missed 2 years. It ruined his career. Bernard King was arguably one of the best
He was
players.
better than Melo.
None of you. Listen, that's Melo's hero. And I love Carmelo. Carmelo Anthony could not shine Bernard King's shoes. This is a guy that averaged 40 points a game in the 84 playoffs versus the Detroit Pistons, including that monster game he had in Game 5 in Detroit. And then he goes and plays the Celtics. And Larry Bird's like, this guy ain't getting 40 on us. He got 40 a game on them too. And that team won a title. One of the all-time greatest. All-time greatest.
I don't know how old you were when Ray Meyer had that DePaul team with Mark Aguirre on it. But and then he ended up, I think, with the Mavericks at some point in the NBA. But do you remember how great, that was the greatest team I ever saw play basketball that never won anything. That the Paul Blue Demon team with Mark Aguirre. That they didn't, didn't Terry Cummings, was he another one I think that was on that team?
I believe so.
Listen, I've never seen a team like that. Was great basketball, and they never won it. They never got it done. They were jinxed. But then we watched him as a pro, watching Mark Aguirre play as a pro. Like, there have been so many great teams and so many great players and so many great matchups and finals and playoff series and fights. I think today it's kind of candy ass. They never fight.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall Coast to Coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game Time Decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage Late
sort
Night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, betting above the rim. So if you're on the radio side, you're not going to be able to see this, but on the TV side, let's show the picture of Coach with Artis Gilmore. Look at how enormous he is.
Bro, look at
that's him as an old man. That's him
that's him as an old man. And that's me. That's Coach a little bit heftier. That was about me at about 250, 255. That's before I found out what the Peloton was. But he was so big. And Ferrall, I'm like, folks, just so people understand, In that picture, I'm about 6'5", 250, 255.
Show it again. I want to see him fat again. Here we go. Show it again.
Yeah,
that's me now. That's my gut now.
That's right. That's JY. JY's down to about 225, 228. Shout out to my trainer, Dr. B, who kicks my tail every week. But
from a distance, they're smiling with a gut. You almost look like Chauncey. A big Chauncey.
Listen, shout out to the A.
He was even bigger when he had his afro. His afro was was the size of another head. He literally had two heads. He had his head, and then he had an afro that was it was 12 inches high. It was a foot at least. It was enormous. When he ran, he looked like he had this giant afro going, and it made him look like he was 8 foot tall. He literally looked 8 foot tall with his afro. And he was, and he had sideburns when he played that were the size of like golf course
lamp
holes.
tops. Yeah,
lamp tops.
The lamp top. Yeah,
giant.
He's folks. He's 7'2". If you go and look a picture of Artis Gilmore with the afro, brother was probably almost 8'2". That's how big the afro was. And when he had that those big pork chop. Lamb chop, sideburns, with the goatee. I mean, they called him the A-Train.
Do you remember watching, how old were you when you got to see for the first time World Be Free play?
Oh, that was probably 4 or 5 years old, 1980. By the way, what a name. Like, you want to talk about, like, names? Remember the XFI, He Hate Me? They folks, kids.
Screw that. World Be Free.
They had a guy, his name to World Be Free. Forget the name, Ferrall. World Be Free was an absolute bucket. Like, he was a walking bucket. It don't matter what team he played for. Brother got Cleveland, Seattle, Sixers. It don't matter. World Be Free got you 20. Speaking of Sixers, really quick, kids, I want you to do something else.
What about Jamal Wilkes? Did you like his game? He had a nice check.
Was that? Probably give me that ISO. Jamal Wilkes, he would kick the ball, and he would literally bring it all the way around his head and then pull it up. The shot took 6 minutes to get off. But if he got it off, it was great.
What did you think of, and you know who one of my favorite white boy players of all time was on that baseline was Jack Sikma.
Oh, let me tell you something. Folks, I'm going to say, this is the coach talking to you. Everybody talks about.
He was Dirk before Dirk.
Oh, listen. As a post coach, I'm going to teach you guys something. Everybody talks about all these great centers: Ewing, Olajuwon, David Robinson, Shaq, Kareem, so on and so forth. There are 3 people that, if you want to be a post player, you go watch their post moves. Okay, third to first. Number 3, Kevin Duckworth. Kevin Duckworth from the Portland Trailblazers was fantastic. His vertical leap was this high. Number 2, Jack Sikma, a.k.a. the Sikma move, otherwise known as the up and under. And by far, folks, the best, I can't believe I'm saying this, the best low post game in the history of the NBA, Kevin McHale. Kevin McHale can do it. Left hand, right hand. Left shoulder, right shoulder. Drop, step, face up. Step through. Third move.
Unguardable.
Kevin McHale, unguardable. And him and Larry Bird. So you talk about all this stuff, Caitlin Clark. Let me tell you something. Larry Bird and Kevin McHale talk better trash than any brother to ever play the game. They all talk the game, and then he had little Flavor Flav on the sideline. What's his name? ML Carr, and he was the one doing all this yapping. Him and Cornbread would be yapping from the bench. Shout out,
Cornbread
Maxwell. Some basketball history. Yeah,
honestly,
yes, Cornbread.
You have to admit, like, it was cooler then than it is now. It just was. It was better. It really was. Now we, what are we talking about here today? Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum? Like, I give a rat's ass about either one of them. Neither one of them can hold a candle to like 40 names we just rattled off.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall Coast to Coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game Time Decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
Late
sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, betting above the rim, and there is WNBA action today. I can't wait. Mystics and Liberty, New York laying 14.5 in no sleep till at the Barclays, 156.5 the total. The Mercury are playing the Wings, and that's at the Wings at Dallas. Dallas laying 1.5, 163.5. I think Storm are at the Lynx in Minneapolis. Seattle's laying 1.5, 158.5. And then the last game is the Aces at LA against the Sparks. And that's Vegas laying 10.5, 162.5 is what it's moved to now. So, Coach, if you want any order you like, you could go back to the Mystics Liberty. We just saw the Fever beat the Mystics. If the Fever can beat the Mystics, and obviously the Mystics are the worst team in the league. They're 0-11. They haven't won a game. They're going to get whacked.
Yeah, the only concern you have with the Liberty is that they're in a second leg of a back-to-back. But I can tell you this much. They are humming offensively. And I think that this game, minus the points will be something I will take a look at. Remember, Mystics have the second worst defense in the league, and they're playing one of the best offense that's starting to get better. So I do think the last time, if I'm not mistaken, the Liberty played at home was that win against Connecticut when they won by about 40. So I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not going to touch this game, but if I were to take a side, it would be the Liberty minus the points. Next, when you go to the following games, let's just go in order of how they're going to be played today. So when you look at game number 2 between Phoenix and Dallas, to me, I'm looking at the fact that Phoenix is now whole. Why, folks? They got their center back. BG, Brittany Griner, played her first game of the season last game, and she shores up their defense team that was giving up 83.4 points per game, just beat Minnesota by 1. Kalia Copper, walking bucket. I like the Mercury on the money line. Next, Seattle, Minnesota. Now, I was all on Minnesota pretty much this whole time. Loved the way they played. But Seattle's gotten it going, including that 13-point win they had at the Las Vegas Aces 2 nights ago. They're starting to figure it out. When you have a team with Jewel Lloyd, with Awumake, when you have Skylar Diggins-Smith, they have enough firepower there, and the Lynx are starting to come back down to earth a little bit. I'm going to take the Storm on the money line. Last, Ferrall, the last 2 times the Aces lost, they won by 19, and then they won by 18 the following game. If you look at last year, besides, and not talking about the playoffs, after they lost the game, they won by 13 the next game, right? They won by 24 the next game. They won by 20 the next game. They won by 12 the next game. Ferrall, they don't play bad back-to-back. And if you look at what was happening, Becky Hammond went after them a little bit in the media about how they're not connected, not playing. I know they're missing Chelsea Gray, but I expect them to absolutely roll. Give me the Aces minus the points at the Sparks.
All right, so I have no bones in this at all and have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'll take the 10.5 piece with Brinkstruck and the Sparks. Give me the 10.5. I'll take the Lynx at minus $1.05 at home in their building because of the price. I don't deny what he said about the Storm. They're playing great ball. But I watch this Lynx team. They're good too. They have the same record, and they're at home. And at that price, I'll take the minus $1.05. I agree. I cannot believe the Mercury are dogs in this game at Dallas. Dallas is awful. Mercury's going to win that game. I would take the 1.5, but the money line's a better price. You're paying the extra 5 cents or whatever for the points, right? So just bet them to win. And then the Liberty, there's nothing you can do there except suffer laying that kind of wood. But I think the Mystics are that bad. Like it's minus 1,400, obviously, on the money line. You're not going there. I mean, I guess the back of 2 games in a row, would you like the under there at 156.5? The under 156.5 because A, they're playing back-to-back, and B, the Mystics suck. So they're not going to do anything against the team. I like the under.
Yeah, I think you can look at the under here. If you want to take something right off the bat, Liberty generally, Ferrall, get off the really fast starts. If you don't want to lock in your money for long term, maybe I'll just lay the Liberty minus 4.5 in the first quarter, and just hope that with their starters, with Ionescu, with Stewie, with John Quell Jones, with Benanja Hamilton, Lane Hamilton, Kayla Thornton's in the starting lineup because of the injury to Vandersloot. So to me, that starting lineup is so much better than the Mystics. Maybe you just take the Liberty minus 4.5 in the first quarter, cash your money, and go home.
What about tomorrow night on NBA TV? You got the Fever and Sun in the Commissioner's Cup at the Mohican, and the Sun are laying 12.5, 161.5. And what are you hearing about the Caitlin Clark fallout from her being left off the Olympic team? You're saying that she's now got a hair up her tuchus to start going off in games and show everybody off?
Well, you get 2 different things. Caitlin Clark was very diplomatic. Congratulated the players that made the team and kind of kept it very – she answered it perfectly, right? She didn't make it about herself. But Christy Sides, and I said to DeFrizo, Christy Sides basically came out and said, she said this was, she got the call, I guess, on the bus after the 30-piece she dropped. And Christy Sides, in her pregame press practice today, just said, Caitlin Clark said to her, "Hey, coach, they just woke up a monster." So now it'll be interesting to see what happens next game. But folks, before you go running to the window and say, "Oh, Caitlin Clark's going to be in a bad mood," she's going to absolutely go off next game. Folks, she's playing the Connecticut Sun. And that is important because, one, you have the Connecticut Sun, Ferrall, a team that's coming off its first loss of the year, right? You have a team that's the best defensive team, giving up 70 points a game, who gave up 82 to Liberty. And also a Caitlin Clark that in 2 matchups has scored 20 and 17 points. Yikes. Be careful, folks, if you try to just go say that Caitlin Clark is going to get 20, 25 points in that game. I would honestly,
Wait,
much
she's
love
already
Caitlin,
played him twice and had 20 and 17 in the 2 games? That's not bad
yes.
against the best defense in the league.
No, it's not bad at all. But I guess my point being, Ferrall, is that I think you're going to get a Connecticut Sun team that's dialed in defensively in a bad mood, and someone's got to pay. And unfortunately, that's probably going to be Caitlin Clark in Indiana Fever.
I would love to see her drop a 25 burger on them and just, like they're 3-9 now. They're starting to play better a little bit, right? I mean, they're starting to, I think, show some signs of life, and she's getting used to being a pro, isn't she? Isn't she starting to figure it out? I mean, I know that she gets all of this horrific attention lately because of the hit from Carter, and all these people are out to get her and everything. I think that's getting real stale, Coach.
No, it's getting stale. To me, it's going to be about Caitlin and how she plays. Just so people know, when you look at it, the only wins that the Indiana Fever have against the Chicago Sky, 8th best record in the WNBA. Los Angeles Sparks, 10th in the WNBA. And the Washington Mystics, worst record in the league. They're stepping up in competition. They're playing a team in a bad spot. If she gets 25, that's going to make things even crazier about not making the Olympic team.
All right, 4 games today, only 1 tomorrow in the WNBA. We're going to get you ready for game 2 tonight in Boston.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start, so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall Coast to Coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game Time Decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not 1, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
Late
sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, Betting Above the Rim brought to you by BetMGM. And Coach, I want to throw some overall finals props at you, and even some other numbers. See if you're interested in betting any of these. All right, Derek White to average 15 or more points in the finals. Didn't he have 15 the other night? I think he had 15, didn't he?
Doesn't really do us a lot against Dallas. Last game, only game. I'm sorry, 2 games early
Will
regular
he
season.
average
Under.
15 in the finals?
Close.
That's a no. That's a no. Hey,
close.
I mean, you can't even answer that question. Do you think I can go
close.
through any of the other ones? Like either is or isn't. He is or he isn't.
No.
That's a no. That's a no. He's already averaging 15. We'll see if he can continue it. Jason Tatum to average a double-double in the finals. He's already had a double-double with 16 and 11.
No.
F plus
I want to go through the props. I'm going to let you get through the props.
No. Well, I think he can. I think he's already averaging a double-double, and I think he'll continue to. PJ Washington to score 20 or more in an NBA Finals game at plus 110.
No.
Luka to average 10 or more rebounds in the finals as a series, the whole series, to average 10 rebounds. He had 10 in game 1, and that's plus 120.
No.
Luka records 60 or more points, assists, and rebounds in a finals game. So he would have 60 PRA. Can he go 60 PRA?
No. That's like 40, 10, and 10. That's wild. No.
Yeah, that game's coming in Dallas. That game's coming in Dallas. Trust me.
I'm going to have a yes to something. I'm going to say yes to something. I promise you.
Here you go. Will there be an overtime game?
Yes. Probably in Dallas.
All right. Here we go. More likely to have a triple-double. Luka at plus 380 or Tatum at plus 1,600?
Oh, Luka. I just don't think it's going to be a 40, 10, and 10 triple-double.
All right, so tonight, who has a double-double? Luka at minus 275, Tatum at minus 143, Zinger at plus 6 bills, Brown at plus 7 bills, or Holiday at plus 850.
Ferrall? Crazy take. Porzingis double-double tonight. I also like his PRA, but we'll talk about that later.
That's a great bet at 6-1. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's at 6-1.
Look at that guy. Look at him. Look at that guy, Ferrall. Look at him dunking on people. That guy's a stud. Why can't he do it with the Knicks? Wait. Why'd you have to leave the Knicks, Porzingis? Why'd you do that to us?
So let's see. Tonight, this game. Let's see. Total points. Luka over 31.5. Over under 31.5.
Under.
Tatum over under 25.5.
Over. Bounce back game for Tatum.
That's at minus 151. So you got to lay a lot of juice to make that happen. Kyrie over 23.5. Under 23.5.
Over. I'd even say alt bet Kyrie 25 plus tonight.
Jaylen Brown over 22 and a hook or under 22 and a hook. The over's minus $129.
Barely gets there. Over. I think there's points tonight.
Zinger over under 14.5 points. The over is minus 151.
Over, but I like his 23.5 PRA even better.
Over under threes tonight. Luka over under 3.5.
He's going to get 10 attempts. I'm going to say over.
So over would be minus $166. Jaylen Brown over under 2.5.
Under.
Under's minus 189. Tatum over under 2.5.
Over.
Over's minus $145. Kyrie over under 2.5.
Over.
That's minus 101. Derek White over under 2.5.
Under. I think he hits 2.
Under would be plus $129. Total rebounds tonight. Tatum over under 9.5.
Under. He doesn't get a double-double.
Luka over under 9.5.
Under. No, over.
Oh God, make up your mind. Lively over under 6.5.
I feel like this is rapid fire. Over. Derek Lively stays out of foul. Derek Lively stays out of foul trouble tonight.
Al Horford over under 6.5.
No, because Zinger goes over his rebound, so under for Al Horford. Not as effective tonight.
Right. I like this one. Holiday over under 5.5. I like the over.
I like the over as well. A lot of three-point attempts by Dallas tonight. Long shots, long rebounds.
All right, Dimes. Luka over under 7.5.
Over. He's going to have to get more guys involved tonight.
Tatum over 5.5.
Under, because he's going to score a ton.
White over under 4.5.
Under.
Kyrie over under 4.5.
Over.
Drew over under 4.5.
Over.
I'm going to go over on his rebounds and his assists on a prop, like a Ferrall and Coach 3-man hair weave.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall Coast to Coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game Time Decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
Late
sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
So I think Foster's Lager would have been proud of us, Coach, because we not only did basically every prop that he had set up for us this weekend, but I have gone above and beyond in Propville. I'm Prop City. I'm Prop Nation. I've given every prop known to man, and I'm not done yet. How about total PRA? Luka over under 49.5. He didn't do it last game, but you think tonight he does it because he'll have more dimes.
Yep.
Tatum over under 41.5 PRA.
Under, but he goes over his points.
But he goes over his points in just a points prop. Brown over under PRA 32 and a half. You see Coach cheating, trying to like go outside the box here. Like I'm trying to do PRA, and he's like, just take the points and go over. So Jaylen Brown over under 32 and a half.
Under.
Wow. So they're going to shut him down tonight. Kyrie over 31 and a half.
Over. But why for Jaylen Brown? He don't pass the pill. He's got 2 games in the postseason with more than 3 assists.
That. Well, what did he have? He had 22 and how many rebounds? 5?
I think he had 5 last game.
6.
No,
22, 6.
6.
So PRA wouldn't have done it. He wouldn't have done it. And you're saying he won't do it again.
Nope.
Derek White over under 23 and a half. He was at 15 points. Will he go over 23 and a half?
Under.
That's under too, because he doesn't get rips or dimes either. All he does is shoot. Right?
And they're going to lock him up. Yep.
Unbelievable. So you're going Mavs and over, and Mavs outright. At Mavs outright to win the game and to be 1-1 going to game 3. And then after 3 games, who's in the lead in this series? Dallas? Does Dallas go home and win game 3? Or does Boston do what they always do, which is go on the road and win game 3? Who will be in the lead 2-1 after 3 games?
Dallas.
I've seen it all. I hope so. So you're telling me tonight I don't have to worry about because I told you the other night I watched it, and then after the first quarter, literally I went to bed. I can't even watch him. I hate him so much, and that PA announcer, I hate him so much. Dead. I hope his wife cheats on him right now with his best friend. I hate him so bad that when they're up 29, I'm out. I'm out, dude. I'm watching Oxygen and watching the real Atlanta Murders or something. I like that better than the Celtics.
Yeah. I'll go watch Griselda, some of that. And then I got this communist Adam Kaufman trying to get me to talk about
on that Griselda that they put on her.
Yeah.
That nose.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you what. And here's the other thing. Here's what I'm really upset about.
She was ugly, though. She was never hot like her.
Yeah.
Griselda she was hideous, dude. She looked like someone beat her with a wiffle ball bat.
She was a badass, though. I'll tell you what. You know what's bothering me?
She handled her business.
No. I'm going to say this before you leave, and I'm really upset with you. You get mad at me for missing for dance recitals. This guy is going to the Tank Davis fight. He's going to Grateful Dead. He's not bringing a coach. And who do I get to do the show with next week? Who am I doing the show with next week?
The fascist.
Oh, you know what? I changed my bet. Dallas wins the next 3. They're up 3 games to 1. We come back on air on Saturday. At least I'll pray for that for those damn Celtics fans.
Listen, I'm going to Vegas. I'll be doing shows Thursday and Friday for All Coast to Coast from the MGM for the PBC. Tank Davis and Benavidez, 2 fights, same card, MGM Grand Garden Arena on Saturday night the 15th on Prime pay-per-view. I'll be there for that. 2 shows from Vegas Thursday and Friday. Mafia's going with me. Coach didn't make the trip. He was too soft. And then I'm going to see the Grateful Dead and eat mushrooms, as opposed to Coach, who goes to the country show with his girl. And they drove in a pickup and they had road bob. I'm going to Vegas, and you're driving on country road like
strawberry wine.
Mr. Freeze, great job. JJ, Bradley Beal, Sammy Cheers Malone, Yarnell, Matty Jordan. This has been another exciting edition of Betting Above the Rim. I'll be back in 2 Saturdays. Not next Saturday, the Saturday after. Have fun with the fascists and all the rest of the Celtics fans, you found.